Hello and welcome to the House of Crypto, the best place to come for realistic chart analysis, both of Ethereum and Bitcoin, and also looking into the alts ready for alt season. So guys, I brought you a video last night looking at the Bitcoin chart and watching a possible breakout unfold. Now at the moment it still hasn't happened, but we want to have a look to see whether this is going to play out, what we're expecting to happen, and be ready for every scenario that could happen. Okay, cool. So if we have a look at the Bitcoin chart, which I've got in front of me here, if you remember last night, we were looking at this pink triangle pattern. And what I was sort of looking at was the potential chance that we might be looking for a bearish move to the downside. Now, we were looking that, if I make this line here, we were going to look at a potential push to the downside of this. Now, obviously that's not played out so far, can still happen. What we were looking at was for this to break down, to come back up, retest, and shoot back down. Now, as you look at the chart now, we've got this red candle moving, this red candle breaking potentially to the downside. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, as you can see, I've added on this extra line, or this extra green line along here, which is looking like another support line. So what we've got is this pennant pattern, the pink pennant pattern, and then we've got another green and pink pennant pattern. So why have I done that? So if we look at, there's two potential chances here. If the pink pennant pattern is the one we're looking at, then we're in for potentially quite a worrying sign, in that we've actually perfectly come back down, as we said yesterday, and retested, and then as we see on this red candle here, breaking to the downside. Now, why I've drawn this green line on is, in the past, you see we've actually come down and wicked to this position quite regularly. And actually, in the past, going back all the way here, we were finding this as a line of resistance, and we flipped that, turned it into support, and has acted as support ever since, hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially coming up to a sixth time. Now, what I'm looking for in terms of this being able to support, if this red candle is going to come down, then I don't want to see any close below this green line. Guys, we see a close below this green line, then fairly realistic chance that we're going to shoot to the downside. Also, what we want to look at here is we've got the 200 EMA. If we go back historically looking at the Bitcoin chart, there's been periods of time where this has actually proved to be a great buying opportunity. So if you're like me, thinking that Bitcoin's gonna be worth a lot more in the future, which many people in many camps are thinking, then we're looking for stages at which we can accumulate more. So every time we've come down to this 200 EMA during this bull cycle, here we've come down not all the way to it, but close enough. Here again, you see that we've had a massive surge to the upside again. This happens, and it doesn't happen very regularly. In the last week or so, we've seen the 200 EMA climbing quite steeply, and this is why we've got a potential really strong support here. So I think what will happen if we break through this green line of support is that we will actually come down to the 200-day EMA, and we could see a potentially great buying opportunity. If we break down below the 200 EMA, then we're looking down towards this line of support up here. But potentially unlikely, but you've got to be always ready for every scenario playing out. Now, so to look at this from a bullish standpoint, so at the moment obviously we're finding support on this green line here. If we can find more support and push back up, we're going to look to break the lower pink line and then find our way back in and then break out. But as you see, in terms of a triangle pattern, there's obviously a bit more room we can add on here, but we are running out of room. So we're going to have to start being at a position very shortly, perhaps in the next 2, maybe even 3 days, where a decision's going to be made, right? So at the moment, it's looking quite difficult that we're going to have to break through a quite considerable line of support, line of resistance, to then break the next line of resistance, to then be looking towards the upside. but you know, Bitcoin's obviously done it before. If it breaks the downside, guys, it's not all over. This is actually quite a healthy thing. Coming back down to that 200 EMA would actually be a really great thing for Bitcoin. If you look actually in the past, or over the past few times that Bitcoin has really rallied back in 2012 and 2016, what we saw was very low volatility in the market. And actually what we're seeing at the moment is quite low levels of volatility, which you might see as kind of a boring thing. Actually, it means it's just kind of consolidating more and more people getting involved, becoming way more stable, which makes it way more investable and possibly way less risky for bigger institutions, and will encourage bigger institutional buying. Okay, cool. So that's it for Bitcoin. Remember, you know, again, disclaimer, not financial advice. Guys, make your own decisions. I'm bringing you this chart analysis as the way I see it. I'm sure you'll go around and find different ways that other people will see it. But you know, use the information that you find to make your own analysis, okay? So that you can make decisions of when you want to accumulate. Possibly if you're trading it or day trading it using leverage trading, then I recommend Bybit. Whether you're using that to make buys and longs and shorts, then great. But yeah, obviously do that at your own risk. Never be putting in more money than you can afford to lose, because obviously you know, the aim is to be able to trade tomorrow and always continue like that. Okay, so anyway, moving on to Ethereum. Slightly different setup, looking slightly more healthy than the Bitcoin side of things. But obviously, you know, Bitcoin being the leader tends to pull others down. So if Bitcoin makes that fall, then we could possibly see Ethereum take a similar dip. So as we've been following over the last couple of days, we had the yellow bullish pennant pattern, which we came into, and we perfectly predicted the breakout, which was great. And then what happened is we nearly hit our target, which was something around 14.8, and didn't quite reach it, but obviously we're taking profits on our way. We then saw that rejected, which is fine because it was rejected, putting in a higher high than this previous high over here. And it's come back down, and actually it's broken back up from this line of support here. Now this is actually really a great thing. We come back round, we've confirmed it as a potential breakout, although what we're seeing here is another rejection. And unfortunately here, what we're doing is we're putting in a lower high on the local time frame, yeah? So this 4 hour is slightly concerning in that we've put this high in here, we've dipped back down. Instead of breaking to a higher high, we've actually putting in a lower high here. So what we could see is possibly this play out for a few days, consolidate before potentially moving on to the upside. If you see, we've got the blue line being the 20-day EMA, and the red one being the 50-day EMA. We've dropped down, and we perfectly dipped and touched almost, you know, to the cent, touched this red EMA line here, which is great, with the close of the body being above the green line. Now that's really really great to see in terms of support level. If this red candle is obviously going to come back down, at the moment it appears to be finding resistance on the 20-day EMA, which is great. We've also got this line of support and another line of support. So actually for Ethereum, we're in a much better position than the Bitcoin situation, in that we're above these lines of support, whereas Bitcoin is trying to push back up through lines of resistance. If we came over to the chart we were looking at the other day, which was Ethereum versus Bitcoin, we can see that Ethereum recently, in the last few days, has burst through against Bitcoin dominance, to be finding itself way more dominant. And this is really bullish for Ethereum, and hopefully it'll be looking to push the upside. Guys, in terms of trading Ethereum at the moment, I'm going to wait to see how this plays out. If I see it come back down towards the 50-day EMA and find support on this green line, I'll be looking to long the position. However, we're going to sit and wait to see if that happens. Obviously, I'll update you if that happens. So, guys, hope this has been useful for you. Remember, do your own research. Don't play with more than you can afford to lose. And make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. We're going to start doing some weekly giveaways starting from next week. So, guys, the more you get involved in this community, more chance you've got to win. And hopefully, I can continue to bring you some good content. Okay, so thanks very much for today, guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, and bye-bye.